member of WildGamesProductions.com and D20Radio.com. They came from the game table, dice bags in hand.
We have one brain that we share between us.
To talk about role-playing for all across the land.
And you like it.
The original, then basic, then one they scoured.
Kinda grabs you by the boo-boo, don't it?
To bring AD&D to the second power.
You want me to put the hammer down?
Welcome to THACO's Hammer, the best damn AD&D 2nd edition podcast ever.
Yeah, I don't see that very much anymore.
Well, like I said, different generation.
Yeah, you're probably right. Hi, folks. THACO's Hammer, number 123. And we are up and running. I'm DM Glen, and we got a full house today. I got DM Brian, of course.
Hey, folks, what's going on out there? And yes, it is me.
Yeah, he of the hurt voice.
Yes.
And we also have way out in Baghdad, DM Full-On Gamer.
Greetings, Gamer Nation.
Oh, yeah.
Hoo-yah! And believe it or not, DM Corey.
I'm here, I'm sober, I'm frozen, and I'm tired of digging out snow.
Yeah, you wouldn't have had a game today anyway, probably.
Most likely not.
So conveniently, today's story group is all going to be about the Wilderness Survival Guide. Talk to us about hypothermia and exposure.
I'm out of here.
No, it's not.
Fine, then I will discuss it as a evoker mage casting fireball every 10 seconds.
Oh, don't make me laugh. It hurts when I laugh.
What's his wand of chromatic orbs? Yeah.
Fireballs.
Yeah, one in each hand, just fire. No, we're doing an email show today. Mm-hmm. Just, full disclosure, I know some of you are going to go click, but we got to do it, folks. We got a lot of them. So let's go into hits and crits.
Well? One thought he was invincible, the other thought he could fly. So? They were both wrong.
Son of a bitch is dug in like an Alabama tick.
You're hit. You're bleeding, man.
I ain't got time to bleed.
We're sending somebody in to negotiate. Anybody else want to negotiate?
Hits and crits.
This is hits and crits. Let's start with the guy who's been gone for a while. Corey, what you been doing?
Drawing, moving, packing up. We might be moving to a new place shortly, so we're trying to pare down, get rid of garbage. And now the snow hit. Everything is on hold now, so I gotta wait till spring. But I've been drawing, been working on the For Golden Glory clone that I think we already reviewed.
Yes, we did.
Without you.
Oh, yeah.
And well,
Corey, one quick question. What did you think?
I think the book is beautiful. I think for a non-full company publication, it rivals even the second edition Player's Handbooks.
Oh, hell yes.
I think that he made a big mistake doing the black and white artwork, which him and I have discussed ad nauseum. Moses and I have talked about the artwork in that book, and if it does get a second printing, you will see a very heavy-handed Corey artwork thrown all throughout that thing instead of royalty-free classic painting that did not turn out too well when it was zoomed all the way down to where he had it and then the color stripped.
Mm-hmm. And no, I shouldn't expect this, but I will expect a copy if he does do a reprint.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
We can review it.
You may even get a couple taps on the shoulder to do some artwork yourself there,
Mr. Hallstrom.
Glenn.
Who, me?
Yeah. Yeah, right now I'm working on a monster manual for the clone, and then after that we're going to be looking into possibly, fingers crossed, with my time schedule working out, just like TSR had Greyhawk and then they had Forgotten Realms, it looks like my campaign world might be getting published under the For Golden Glory.
Right
on.
Not a promise. We're working on it. We're going to discuss.
Not a bad thing.
No, definitely not a bad thing.
That's the plan.
Awesome.
All right, full on. How's things in Baghdad? That's about all I can say. How's things in Baghdad?
How's the sand?
Well, it's been wet and rainy for the last couple of days, so we're working our way through it. What does that?
Wow. I never knew.
River Valley of Babylon, man. What?
Oh, that's true.
That's true.
You have a point.
The only two things I can say to fall on is how's Baghdad and what's happening with Tor?
Yeah. You've been playing lately?
I have successfully patched and updated, yes.
Awesome.
Okay. Brian, how you doing?
Let's see.
You've been sick, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, yeah, stomach virus is not good because, I woke up 3 o'clock in the morning Friday, and I spent the next 30 to 45 minutes in the bathroom, and yeah.
We're gonna get a lot of listeners with that one.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going into graphic details. Just when you have a bad stomach virus, things are not pleasant. Aside from that, been just trying to recover. I think I'm getting a chest cold now, so I'm just sort of getting it from all sides. Been playing Path of Exile. Having a lot of fun with a wizard character that I found a build for, and is actually very effective in the game, so I've been doing that. Also, still working on THACO Manor. I finally got all the encounters done, and now I'm working on the actual manor and doing it in the read text to players and what's really going on in the room kind of thing, so it's going to take a while. Because THACO Manor is huge. Well, it was big enough with the original printing, but the second printing actually added stuff. So it's pretty massive. So it's gonna take a while, but I'll finish it eventually. I just have to do it in pieces. So that's pretty much what I've been doing.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, get better.
Glad.
Yeah.
What you been doing?
Well, first of all, I want to say get well.
Thank you.
I've been doing various and sundry things, trying to get the voice acting on its feet, and it seems to be resisting. Got a couple of Castles, one Castles and Crusades game I'm running, one I'm playing in online, and we ran into a Lacrata, and I was distressed to find out the Lacrata is not in for Golden Glory, which is the first book I grabbed to find out what the Lacrata does.
Yeah.
It's like, this must be a copyrighted monster. Okay.
Yeah, they may have named it.
Yeah, and Corey, speaking of getting your world done as a supplement for Golden Glory, my friend Matt, who does the Mythgarther stuff, with the advent of the SRD for 5th edition, he wants to publish his world as its own role-playing game. Cool. And I've already done a couple of pieces for him for artwork. I question his sanity, but it's like, it's going to be your own world and have your own, system, which is not your system. It's 5th edition,
mm-hmm.
which, he must be doing something with it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think he's thinking that his campaign world will live on in eternity, in the electronic media, even though, even if Wizards decides to make a 6th edition of D&D, which they will eventually. It's just a matter of when.
Time goes on.
Yep.
And, I've been basing it on the SRD.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it all depends on if he wants to. Well, of course he wants to make it 5th edition compatible, but I mean, how the D20 license had, you can go D20 or you can go SRD or you can go SRD,
mm-hmm.
or Open Gaming License.
Right.
And if you go D20, you're like shackled. It's like opening a McDonald's franchise. You got to do everything they tell you.
Yeah, pretty much.
And follow their guidelines. With the other one, it's like, okay, here's the system. Same thing. You don't have the D20 license, but you can do anything you want with it.
Right.
Which is how we got awesome games like Mutants and Masterminds, things like that.
Right. Well,
and it's like, I don't know if the 5th edition license works that way.
It may not. I think they may have gone back in and tweaked it because, when they decide to release the OGL for D20, I mean, the floodgates opened. I mean, I think that's what they're trying to do with 5th edition this time, because I think they realize that they have something of a dearth of fresh
content.
Yeah, fresh content, exactly. So
which is funny because a lot of people have been putting out third-party content even without that.
Well, of course. I mean, you look at for Golden Glory, that's like a wonderful, that's a wonderful use of the OGL as it pertained to D&D back then.
Yes.
And I'm just glad that people are still care enough about these older editions that they're willing to put a labor of love out there like that.
My question to Matt was, if you can do that, I'm going to assuming you aren't going to be doing your own thing within the OG within the SRD.
Mm-hmm.
But if they won't let you do that, what's the point?
Yeah. Yeah, well,
just make it a box set like Forgotten Realms or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And call it a day. I can still do artwork for it, and I'm not complaining. Like I said, as an artist, I'm not complaining because he paid well.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
if you're getting work, you're getting paid. It's all
as
good.
a player and DM,
not so much.
Not so much. But then again, I don't play 5e. So, and also I want to give a shout out to Eric Fabrici last night. Gave me a PDF for review purposes. He wants me to review this on Old Man Grognard, and I thought I'd do a shout out here for a game called Warriors of the Red Planet: Rules for Fantastic Adventures Set on Other Planets by Al Crombach and Thomas Denmark. It's 125 pages. You can get it either from Lulu or RPG Now.
Mm-hmm.
It's about $15. I would recommend the RPG Now because Lulu, you're just going to get either a print or a PDF, but they got on RPG Now they got print and PDF for $15.
Right.
So, and it's a really good. It's basically for all the old school games, including second edition.
Right.
But it's mainly if you're using it as its own system, which is its own system.
Mm-hmm.
It can also be overlaid on another system. But if you're using theirs, it's basically Swords and Wizardry.
Mm-hmm.
Because they do the ascending and descending armor class. And I thought it was very clever of them. They put something in there, I think it was TNO or whatever, but it's THACO.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they just don't call it THACO.
Right.
So you can do ascending armor class, you can do descending armor class, you can do descending armor class with THACO.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I thought, I could use it for second edition. Cool.
Yep. Yeah, that basically go all the way back to original. Yeah,
and it's all based on doing games with John Carter-esque Warriors of Mars type stuff. They call it Swords and Planets because you've got the mind people, you've got the scientists, you've got the fighters and rogues, and to me it kind of pushes some of my buttons. Yeah, let's do this.
Oh, of course.
And, like I said, I'm going to throw Thundar in there with a little of Mad Max and dump the whole mess on Carcosa. And then hop over to Eternia.
That would, yeah. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, that's me. Mm-hmm. So, I guess we better get to the meat of it.
Yeah.
It's email
No,
time.
I wanted to hear your cunning plot involving wood, sheep, and wheat.
I have a cunning plot?
Wow.
Never mind. Carry on.
Wow.
I might wait a minute. Let me write that down. Wood, sheep, and meat. Thank you, Full-On.
Yikes.
Oh, I already got zombies making bakery products, so be quiet. Emails.
Yeah. Okay.
We've got a few emails. Our regular email reader is kind of like he's going through adolescence again. So,
oh, that's not cool. That is oh man.
His
no,
voice where you
not
feel like
me of those days, please. I beg of you.
It's hard to be credible with saying, okay, we have these emails here.
My voice isn't that bad. It's just like seems like I've been gargling with nails or something. Okay.
We were gargling with wood, sheep, and meat. Full on. Would you do the honors on the first one if you have it? Do you have it?
No, I don't have any of them.
Okay, I've got it. I'll do the short ones.
Okay, do a short one to get us going here.
Okay. Well, the answer will be short as well. I can tell you now. Okay, this is from DM Freddy.
It's wood, sheep, and meat. That's the answer.
Oh,
no.
Yeah. Okay. He wanted to talk about the Dispel Magic spell. He said, awesome spell. Despite me reading and rereading the spell perhaps a dozen times, I still have to pull out the book and read it every time it's used. That's okay. How about a quick segment on it? You could go into its uses as well as its usage. For instance, controversial potion nuking abilities, which it does do. Let's see. We did do a segment on Dispel Magic in Splatbook 80.
Right.
I went back and looked at it just to be sure. So, go back in our archives, Freddie. It's there.
Okay.
All right. So.
Okay, thank you, Freddie. Dispel Magic's one of those spells where I really want to take it, and I really want to use it, but I never use it.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because I've seen it used, and I've used it. I'm always going to go up against somebody at least 5 levels higher than me. So
it does seem to work out that way, doesn't it?
I think it's there for DM comedy.
Mm-hmm.
You watch this guy.
Well, my usage and experience with it has always been in higher level play where you've got the gold box game laundry list of spells to cast before you get into combat, bless, prayer, haste, this, that, and the other thing, and you're running up, so you've got all these boosted characters going up against, whatever, and then, all that has to happen is have a cleric or a mage tossed out a dispel magic spell and, watch your players sort of start grinding their teeth.
Yeah.
But that's been more of my experience with it.
Oh, boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's usually that as the anti-magic grenade or the anti-magic shell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yep.
Or the silence 15-foot radius. I can't cast anything. I can't. That kind of thing.
Exactly.
Corey, could you read the next one?
Yeah, you want me to get in there and read one?
Yeah, would you please? Brian did a short one to get us going, so.
Yeah. Okay.
One of the star ones.
Yes, please.
Do we read the top one?
Sure, go for it.
All right. Oh my God. All right. This comes from DM.
I think it's
DM Court Manch.
Quartermatch. I think
Quartermanch? Okay. Pronounce one E, don't pronounce the other. Got it. Quartermanch. Note, I should probably offer the phonetic pronunciation of my name, Quartermanch. Oh, it's right there. Durr. See what happens when I don't read ahead? All right, so Dear Hammer Wilders. This is what happens when I'm sober, guys. You can't do a show when I'm sober. Dear Hammer Wilders, I listen to a lot of gaming podcasts, and yours is one of the best. You're damn right.
That's right.
I really ought to leave a review, huh? I'll get to that. But first, I wanted to share a technique I've employed for calculating and allotting experience points over the years, since I just listened to a recent episode in which the subject was discussed. Ugh, I know, boring, right? I promise I'll make it as entertaining as possibly can. Okay, now bear in mind I started using this system not only to make things easier on myself, but to encourage player involvement. In a nutshell, I dispense with the point system in each edition almost entirely. I dispensed with.
Mm-hmm.
I think he means I got rid of.
That's what he meant.
Yes,
Yeah,
he
that's what
abandoned.
he means.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I dispense. Instead, I multiply each level after first by 10, indicating 20 points to reach second, 30 points to reach third, so on. Oh man, getting boring, huh? Okay, whatever. Whoever's reading this, I really help break up the pace if you just suddenly say yowza right now. Go ahead. And at least 3 dots, so yowza. Also, the player and I would then determine 2 attributes important for the player character's class. Sure, some of the classes have more or less than 2 prime requisites, but setting on 2 seem the most representative, tending to make things run smoothly. For instance, we might select dexterity and wisdom for a ranger, and in the event that a class had only 1 primary requisite, such as a thief's dexterity, we might add one of the attributes that figure prominently in the character's list of proficiencies.
Whoa.
I like the idea of acquiring experience points through the frequent application of an attribute rather than tallying coins or monster hit dice. Instead, each time during an adventure that a character was successfully using one of those primary attributes in some capacity, a point was gained. At first level, after the character had collected 20 points for each of those 2 abilities, it was time to move on to level 2. And never during the middle of an adventure, i.e., hi, I'm the amazing Kristoff. Did you see totally bitchin' thing I just did with those magic missiles? I just felt myself level up, and suddenly I know another wicked cool spell called Destroy Suspension of Disbelief. Nice.
Wow.
At the early levels, progression happened fairly rapidly, but since the points didn't stack, it became more difficult, just as with the original point system. To get from second to third required an additional 30 points per tribute, 40 for fourth, etc., etc. What began to happen is that most players really worked at collecting those points, and it tended to keep them from being bored or feeling idle, even if they had to play through more than 2 adventures to reach the next level. Experience points didn't seem something too nebulous for them to appreciate, and it gave them some sense of control. Hehe, silly players.
Yeah.
Still, Stealth thieves recognized the more opportunities to use their talents. Wizards and clerics discovered more varied ways to interact, and bards began to act like, bards. Of course, it has its disadvantages too, and it becomes more difficult to keep track of at higher levels. But I've used it as a kind of universal system among the games I run. I hate math, I love stories. Now, I will shut up. Yowza. Thanks for the many hours of inspiration. DM Cortamunch.
Thank you, DM Cortamunch.
Cool.
I almost said something wrong.
Yeah, please don't.
Something about a butt.
Yeah.
Wood, sheep, and meat. Anyway, okay, that is how he levels up characters.
Mm-hmm.
That is very interesting, and I think he should look at. I'm not saying he should convert to it, but he should look at Castles and Crusades because he's talking about primaries and secondary skills and stuff, and they're all about that. And that might be something you may want to incorporate into his D&D game.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
I see this as sort of like a distilled down version of original experience points. I mean, I mean, this is like almost all the way down to its essence and just has a different mechanic in which you earn your points instead of going out and killing monsters. Yeah, whatever works for you. I wouldn't do it. I like the system the way it is, but that's
to me this seems like the way somebody who was used to, like, say, the Fate role-playing system.
Oh, yeah.
Or like, maybe you have a bunch of players who are like Vampire the Masquerade, White Wolf kind of players.
D6 Star Wars.
Yeah, like more story-driven role-playing games, but you still want to keep in the D&D feel. This would be kind of like a bridging, in my opinion. It's great. It's great. What I usually do for myself, though, I like your point system, but I do kind of the same thing, but I keep a mental track on my side of the screen. XP or XP, hit dice are XP, but if you use a special ability for your class, I will put a little mark on my side of the screen, and eventually those get tallied into and multiply. They have a multiplier that gets added when I'm calculating XP for when you reach next level.
Mm-hmm.
You can have a fighter swinging a sword all day long and he's going to get basic XP. You have a fighter, thinking his way out of something by using his strength instead of his sword, then he's going to use a tribute, so you would get one of those little tally points. But I see where he's coming from. It's a good concept. I personally wouldn't use it because, to me, it simplifies it to the point where people are like, man, I need 2 more points before I get to next level.
Yeah, to start metagaming.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm just going to go down in the tavern and start playing my loot. Dude, it's 2 a.m. I don't care. I'm using my ability.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, you're a thief. Yeah. Oh, dang, I need 1 more point till I reach next level. Hey, I'm going to go ahead and sit in my door jam by my in tavern door and keep locking it on myself and then unlock. I'm going to do it for a couple hours. Why? Because I want to. Oh, okay. So it's, to me, I've seen those kind of players, and I'd be like, okay, knock it out.
I got 1 more point to get level up. I'm going to go and burgle the people sleeping next door in the inn.
Yeah, let's go out into the forest and start killing sheep and pigs.
Why you take it?
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
It turns into that theory that advancement goes by, well, we had this many adventures or this many encounters, so we should be leveled by now. And it's just more of a sequence and encounter event-driven as opposed to accomplishments and achievements event-driven, where, okay, you did hard things, you get more XP. You did easy things, you get pissant. So just deal with pissant until you start doing hard things.
I just picked the paladin of our party's pocket for 10 gold. Don't I get another point?
Yeah.
So no, you don't. Well, you know how tough the paladin is? It's really hard.
I can just see 2 guys sitting at the table. Dude, I need like 3 more points to level. Do me a favor. I give his fighter my bag of gold. Hold this for me. Okay, I'm going to steal it off, pickpocket him. Did you feel it? No. Now I'm going to steal his bag of gold. Well, I need a couple more points as fighter. I punched the freaking thief in the face for stealing my gold.
Yeah. I mean, I got into a bit of a debate about XP on Dragon's Foot recently. And
no, you don't say.
Yeah, I know. There's a reason why I call it Argument Town. But basically, somebody's like, why do you have to have class-based XP awards? Said because it's a direct replacement for the one gold piece equals one experience point mechanic in first edition. They had to replace it some way. Streamlining XP for monsters wasn't enough. But and everybody's like, well, what? That's hard. That's hard to figure out. That's hard to keep track of. I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not.
You know what I did for the last Castles and Crusades game I GM'd, which is practically D&D anyway.
Yeah.
I looked at all the classes and looked, because they were all like first or second level. I looked what it took to go up a level. And it was all around 5,000 points. Says, all right, I'll get 5,000 points.
Mm-hmm. Well, Glenn, we also know that you're a lazy DM by your own admission. By your own admission.
I just average it to 5,000. Everybody gets 5,000. Bribe me. Go ahead. Tell me what you did. I'll give you extra.
I mean, but to me, it's sort of like doing math and calculating stuff out as a DM is part of the game. It always has been, unless you want to do it esoteric and do it off the cuff and say, well, you guys get this much. The problem is that, in some ways, it gives the DM a little too much control over the game, as funny as that sounds.
Yeah.
That
does sound funny.
It's even the DM should follow certain rules and guidelines within the game for his game. Now, if he comes up with a system that works better for him, like Quartermanch did, fine. That's cool.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
See, my problem as a GM is it's not only I'm a lazy GM, but I have a bad memory. There's several sessions I've gone, oh yeah, I probably should have given experience for that.
Mm-hmm.
So if he can come up with his own system and he can keep track of it, more power to him. You know.
Yeah, it works for him, and that's cool. Nothing wrong with that.
That doesn't mean we're not going to make fun of it, but
oh, geez, and let's just put it this way: there's still a couple people on Facebook who sort of take us to task because we're not. Because apparently when we did our Dark Sun review and we all panned it, that wasn't being fair to Dark Sun. It's like, no, we were fair.
Yeah,
do you hear us, Stephen? We were fair in our assessment. It's just none of us really like the setting like you do.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I noticed when I got Deluxe Tales and Trolls, I got a pencil that says a half-die weapon when sharpened. I'll just have a character carry a bunch of these pencils around in game.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
One die, take two. One die. Where's my experience?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
All right. I'm going to move to a voicemail if you give me a moment to get it set up real quick. And this one is from, if I get the number right. Oh, here's one. Let's do one from, I think this is DM Cal, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is. Okay.
Hi, THACO's Hammer. It's DM Cal here again. I had a DM brainstorm idea that I'd love to toss to y'all and see what you can do to help me with it. It's about dealing with the race class limits that are based in the book. Most often those are thrown out. We think, what's the point of them? Well, how would you create a campaign world where the race class limits make sense with the campaign setting? So it's a case of, if humans are the only ones that can access, say, 9th level magic, well, what does that do to a world? Why would there be a limit on the elves purposely limit themselves? Is it destroying the fabric of the world somehow? Is it because they banished their gods a while ago? What sorts of things would that cause and do? So I'm just sort of tossing some of the ideas together myself, and I thought, hey, let's look at what y'all would think. So if you want to weigh in, that would be great, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Cal. You're talking about work.
Yeah, we just did talk about.
That's a four-letter word to me.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Yeah, but no, I can see the point. Justifying it in world.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, within the context of your specific campaign world, sure.
And one could just as easily turn it on its head and justify it for emplacing, if you're going to do that, and have something in the campaign world that makes sense about why it exists, makes sense about why it exists also for humans.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Instead of them being the special that has unlimited, be fair. They're going to be limited in some things. They're going to be unlimited in others. The other races should also be limited in some things and unlimited in others. If your world setting has dwarven mages, that's what should be the highlight of their class ability. And then they're going to be doing something different instead. Or, instead of the stereotypical halfling thief, what if they are the preeminent clerics?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And you've got elves who are the thieves or the bandits or whatever. You could do that. Just how you choose to do your world setting, shift things around and apply it appropriately. Or if you've got savage humans, same thing.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
I mean, Corey, you talk about your elves being like outcasts in your world.
Yep.
They're
Chinese.
They could that could justify something like a level cap or an EAP cap.
Yep. Essentially, any of the elves that essentially, first of all, I don't play with them. I don't like level caps. I don't use them. I can't comprehend in my mind. The average lifespan of a human being in medieval times would be about 50, maybe 60 if you're pushing it. They can go higher in level than an elf that lives 300 to 500 years. Sorry, I can't comprehend that in my mind. It doesn't work right for me. I get it, why it was put in for player balance. Why would you play a human if you could play an elf that gets all these special abilities and can keep leveling up? They threw it in there for balance, but I don't need it. I don't like it. I don't use it. I think it's stupid. I give my humans other bonuses.
The excuse they use for it, too, is just so idiotic because they say whenever they try to explain it, they always default to talking about, the flighty nature of the elves, and they can't commit to anything. Well, I turn that on its head and say, okay, well, what about the 200-year-old living dwarf who's going to be nothing but a fighter, and, let's see, they're renowned for extreme focus and lifelong commitment to things. So he's going to be a piss-poor fighter compared to a human who's going to peak at 40? No.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, we all know what level caps are set in there for. It's a safety valve. It's a Band-Aid.
Yeah, it's like your elf can see in the dark, so he can only make 7th levels of fighter.
I mean, Gary did that in his module. You look at Keep in the Borderland, all the undead have these amulets that they turn one level higher than. And it's like, that's a Band-Aid, Gary. Stop it. You're just doing that to make it harder for the players. And it's the same thing with level caps, because like in I play RC D&D, World Encyclopedia D&D, and I love playing an elf. Elves are badass in there, but they advance very slowly, and they have a cap at like 12 because they're so badass. That ain't right.
I agree.
If you're gonna, it's like you gotta follow through. I mean, if you're gonna say one thing, then follow through with everything.
Right.
And I can understand. I can understand the frustration. And if you could do it in game or in world, okay, I can explain it to me logically, and I will probably buy it.
Right.
I mean, I may not like it, but I'll buy it.
Well, I mean, I still have level caps in my game, but they are so soft that they almost don't matter. I just recently just took the level caps that were in the Dungeon Master's Guide, and I extended them out, and I combined them with Unearthed Arcana, which, on some levels were a little better, but on others they were much worse. But basically, there are certain races that should have unlimited advancement in at least one class. And I'm sorry, the one thing that Unearthed Arcana got right is that any race can be unlimited in level as a thief, because anyone can be a thief, and but I took like they said, like elves can only advance like 15th level as fighter. I said no. I expanded that out. They can be unlimited in advancement as mages, because I'm sorry, elves, they have this bond to magic that almost every published campaign world takes advantage of to one level or another. So that made no sense to me. Half elves have unlimited advancement as bards. I mean,
Brian?
Yes.
3 words for you.
Go ahead.
Minotaur Thief Acrobat. I expect you to let me do it.
Your dex isn't high enough. Minotaurs only have a max dex of 12. You can't do it.
Yeah.
Nice try.
I'll find a way.
I'm sure you will.
Oh, and you know about Rule Cyclopedia? To add insult to injury, the appendix in the back saying, okay, yeah, we can take the level caps off demi-humans. They just got to lose something.
Yeah, and what do they lose? That's
why.
What do they have? All they have is what? Infravision, the detection of certain things.
They fails most of the time.
Yeah.
They can cast as mages and still be fighters and wear armor.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, that's too much. We got to take something away.
Nah, I don't agree with that. Okay. I mean, I appreciate.
Hence the 3E answer of giving the mages the ability to fight and wear armor.
True. Yeah, but then they had like a cast.
Thank you, Cal. Thank you, Cal.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cal. And what do we got next?
All right,
let's do it.
All right, I'll read this one. It's from DM Robin.
Sure you're gonna be all right?
Yeah, it's a short one.
Okay.
I'm picking the short. Besides, this email's right up your alley. You'll like this.
Oh, great.
Okay, dear Thaconians, especially DM Glen.
It's Thaconians. I love these names they come up with.
Yeah, I know, they're pretty good.
Yeah, it's better than Save or Die, the Sodomites.
Yeah, for sure. Would you be so kind as to provide a list of characters from classic TV and movies that you would think would be right pickings for a DM looking for inspiration to roleplay monsters and NPCs in his or her next game? My favorite so far is a gnome with the mannerisms and voice of Ernest T. Bass from the end of the Griffith Show.
I haven't done that one.
Yeah, I'm sure you have.
I had a swamp gnome like that. Yes,
I'm sure. I can think of a few others. Deputy Festus from Gunsmoke or Rick Blaine in Casablanca. Jeez, he's right up your alley, Glenn.
You know what two of my favorites are? As if I come across like a crazy preacher type, maybe a cleric or some wizard or something like that. Either Christopher Lloyd's Doc Brown.
Oh,
this goes for good for gadgeteers and stuff too.
Oh,
or John Carradine. Go back and look at some old movies with John Carradine.
Mm-hmm.
He's like the prototypical wild-eyed prophet type, and he's great if you can do the deep voice. And also another one is good for again going back to classic cinema. One good for like a really snobby royal type villain bad guy is George Sanders.
George Sanders.
He had that very deep British voice, and he sounds so condescending.
I mean, we could go Peter Cushing for that matter.
Go Christopher Lee if you.
Christopher Lee, yeah, definitely.
Voice down that low.
Yeah, yeah. That takes a little practice getting your voice down in that kind of range.
Yeah.
And here I was going to say Hogan's Heroes Schultz for an orc guard.
Oh yeah.
For nothing.
Nothing. Yeah. That's why I like to play stuff like Gangbusters or Savage Worlds Pulp and stuff, because I can do all that kind of. It's fun playing a really nasty Nazi.
Yeah. You tote from Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
You okay over there, Corey?
Yeah. Why am I making noise?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, sorry. I'm rutching.
Oh,
you're retching. You all right?
I'm rutching. Yeah.
You sure?
To move around aimlessly to get more comfortable.
I thought it said retching.
It's rutch.
Retching. Okay.
Rutch.
Remember that.
To rutch.
Okay. Yeah, it's like Ernest T. Bass is great. There's other wild-eyed. I also got like generic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I played a character who was like he was from a noble family, but he decided to be a wizard after being on the field of battle and being in the army and stuff, and all of a sudden he wants to be a wizard, and he was very proud Prussian.
Yes,
I've learned this magic.
Yes, we know your propensity for Eastern European accents. That's true. Yeah, but there are so many. I mean, we could sit here for hours and come up with stuff. But I mean,
when I played Laser Wolf in Fiddler on the Roof about 5-6 years ago, I got ribbed because Laser Wolf sounded like Boris Badenoff.
All you had to do is talk about moose and squirrel.
Yes. And the director
Sam and Dean Winchester.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you said Moose and Squirrel. That's what I was doing. Crowley.
Wow. There's, some real, like you get a lot of mileage out of like people like Al Pacino. Oh, wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he's dead. He's dead. Yeah, I don't like. Look, come here.
Yeah, you could go. You could, if you really wanted to. Yeah, you could go. De Niro and Taxi Driver if you wanted to go that route.
If I start doing like gangbusters and stuff, all that stuff's coming out. The Joe Pesci, the Brando, all those guys,
So
all the wives guys.
Funny how?
Take the guy that take the prisoner, the inmate, the little guy that had the mouse in the Green Mile.
Oh
yes,
yeah.
Mix him. Mix him with the museum curator for Vigo.
Oh yeah.
Not nice.
And now making him like an assistant for an ambassador.
That's a good one.
Yeah, for sure. And that's your classic torn in the player's side.
And then you can go and dip into the cage.
The Cage?
Yeah.
Go Cage. Nicolas Cage.
No.
Go face off.
Oh man. Oh man.
160 seconds. Con Air.
Yeah.
You could even go Moonstruck if you really wanted to.
Oh wow.
Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Yeah. That is so awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you did a good job with that. I have to admit.
And Jack Nicholson and all those, especially Green Mile. I do a great John Coffey. So,
DM Robin, if you're out there and you're listening to this and you're looking for a good spot resources for characters, especially for role playing NPCs, and you can handle the swearing and the cursing and the partial nudity, go and watch Deadwood series from HBO.
Oh yeah.
Just give them Swearinger.
Dude, between Swearingen, you got the innkeeper, then you got that really dumb assistant cook cleaner that is in the inn. I mean, yeah, it's full of characters.
Yeah,
that and mine Firefly.
Yeah.
Or
the movie or even TV show, probably the movie Fargo. If you want to do some real easy, we got him over here, Yeah.
That's my next Noel Warband, you know that.
What a bunch of Wisconsin Norwegian. Just kill him there.
Yeah.
And of course,
just chop him up and put him in the potty.
And the McKenzie brothers have made appearances in my game too. Oh yeah,
shocking.
Absolutely shocking, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can put some Pennsylvania Dutch in there too. Throw the horse over the fence, some hay. throw me down the stairs, my hat. What? Yeah, that's Pennsylvania Dutch.
Oh God.
But that's basically what we're getting at here, Robin.
Yeah.
Like I said, we could go on for hours just pulling out voices from our past for sure.
Yeah.
But excuse me.
Store present.
Okay. All right, let me get the next voicemail up. This is from Old School Chris.
Hello, Old School Chris.
And okay, here we go.
Hey, fellow madmen. This is Old School Chris off the OSR Gaming site. Situation came up in my 2E game, so I'm calling you. The invisibility spell was cast upon somebody, and the caster wanted to wait until the last minute and surprise the onlookers by dispelling the spell. And the question came up, what is the range? Since it's a touch spell, do I have to go up and touch the person? Do I just say, do I dismiss it? Can I be on the other side of town and I say dismiss it? So I'm asking you, what is your guys' rules or knowledge on the subject of dispelling your own spell that you had cast, not with a dispel magic spell? Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, DM Cal.
No. Old School Chris.
Old School Chris. Thank you, Old School Chris. That's a good question.
Yeah.
I mean, casting is one thing. Dispelling it? I don't know.
First, check the spell description to see if it even gives a provision for may be dismissed at will.
And that's what I'm doing right now. That's what.
And if it does not, then you generally have to endure the effects of it, or the benefits of it, or the consequences of it for the duration, which is why usually when someone has an invisibility spell and they want to cancel the invisibility spell, they punch someone.
Right.
That does it,
Yeah, or some kind of attack, or so you even cast another spell or something.
Okay. Yeah. The official explanation in the spell, it remains in effect until magically broken or dispelled, until the wizard or recipient cancels it, until the recipient attacks any creature, or until 24 hours have passed.
Okay. So it's kind of nebulous.
Yeah, I mean, it could be the caster dismisses it, the actual recipient can dismiss it, or the recipient can dismiss it just by walking up and punching somebody or something.
Yeah, I'd say the recipient can only dismiss it unless he was the one casting it on himself.
Mm-hmm.
By those means, he can't go, okay, invisibility off.
Okay.
But if he was the one who's cast it, yeah, I'd let him do that.
Yeah, the caster can dispel it any time he wants to.
Well, that's the thing, though. Mm-hmm. He's asking, do you have a range for that? Like,
no,
pardon the pun, but for if the subject of the invisibility is in your line of sight, then can you just say it is off and it goes off? But if you're across town, well, you don't know it's there, and you can't just spontaneously say, I'm not supporting that spell anymore. You kind of got to be in the presence of it. They're usually talking about...
Go on.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, they're usually talking about the dispelling it at the choice of the caster being like, well, I'm there. I'm the one who cast it. I'm also the recipient, so I'm also turning it off.
Right.
Turning it off to someone else is generally the recipient gets to turn it off, not so much the caster.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's the official explanation.
I'd still let just caster only unless you do something according to the spell that makes it go off. Makes it go away. The reason being is there's great comedy potential of having a caster on the other side of the city and somebody who casts invisibility on, he thinks he's picking pockets and all this other stuff, and something happens where he has to turn it off, and all of a sudden, boom, wrong time to be visible.
Yep. Sure.
Yeah, for me, it goes by rules as written. But in my world, the caster of the magic is the one who pulled it from the weave, so to speak, from the nebulous magic plane, whatever. It's the power of the caster. So to me, you have ultimate say-so on that spell. If you are still within line of sight...
Oh, you're doing all this.
Mm-hmm.
Then, yeah, you can't be across town in a bar and go, oh, yeah, that invisibility spell's on. Let me turn it off. If you're still within line of sight of the creature, then yes, well, that's not really fair for an invisibility spell, but you understand what I'm saying. Mm-hmm, you can turn it off yourself. You're the one who weaved that magical thing into existence. You have will over it.
Yeah, you can end it at any time.
Right.
I would say
to answer,
they have a term for that. It's called uninterrupted line of effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
So sure. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, thank you for we like to argue. Thank you.
You know what? We hardly ever argue. I just thought about that.
Well, we debate.
We debate. We may have opposing views, but we never.
It's always going to be agree to disagree and pick one which suits you type thing.
Exactly. Well, and that's called being civilized.
No, it isn't.
Me? It's not. It's not.
Speak for yourself.
Oh, there goes that illusion. Just been dispelled.
Damn.
Foiled again.
Dispel magic on Brian. Damn, Brian.
Yeah.
Okay, got one more?
Okay. Corey?
Of course. You said one more, and then I logged out. Hold on a second.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get the last voicemail.
All right, then I'll do one more email you want, right?
Okay.
All right, go ahead and do the voicemail then.
Mm-hmm.
And crank it.
Okay. All right, I could do that. Let's see. Let me get back to where it is. There we go. And there we go. Okay. And it's an oldie but a goodie. We've got our...
Well, guess who just listened to Splatbook 102? That's right. Kojo's in the house. And I got a little saying for Freddie here. Yeah, I know. I get it. Yeah, I had to get permission to get the combination, to get the jewels out of the safe. I got that. That's fine. 10 years of marriage, what are you going to do? But, yeah, so I've made a decent way on eBay with stuff I've bought locally and then sold on eBay, so that's worked out pretty good. I'd like to hear an episode about that. I think Freddie's got a good idea. So, we don't take it personal if Freddie wants to comment on my whippedness. But, I'm glad that Freddie's been stepping up and sending in some emails because, I needed a break and need to take a little vacation and spend some time with the family and do some other good stuff. So that's right. Freddie came in, tagged in, sent some emails. That's awesome. But, yeah, so we're going to be back and better than ever. You need me on an eBay show, you let me know. All right. Take it easy. Bye.
Oh, boy.
Thanks, Kojo. That was fun.
That was not the one I thought it was. Oh, that goes back to Freddie taking a little shot at Kojo, and I kind of jumped to Kojo's defense, and Freddie got a little mad at me about it, but, yeah.
Well, to dovetail to this, I could have sworn I saw an email in here from Freddie saying, guys, I was just busting chops. I wasn't being serious, so I apologize to Kojo. So I'm trying to find that email. But, yeah, Kojo, if you're listening to this, when you listen to this, FD did say he was only joking and he was only busting your chops in a friendly way. It wasn't a full-on insult. If you took it that way, he apologized. But, yeah.
You will know
but it was
when
a lot.
Receive.
But it was very entertaining. Thank you.
Yes, it was.
And besides, you'll know when you receive a full-on
I
insult.
Yeah, I found it.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
it'll be the next email.
Actually, you won't know when you receive a full-on insult. It comes at you, like, out of nowhere.
Yeah. Nobody knows it's coming until it...
He's got stealth insults.
Yeah, well, but yeah, I did not mean to dredge that whole issue up. I was hoping that it kind of laid low. Then I played that. Oops, sorry. That's on me. That's my bad.
We leave it in, right? Good.
Yeah, we'll leave it. Freddie may be upset at us, but yeah, we'll leave it in. Okay.
One more?
Yeah, one more. You got one for you? Got one, Corey?
Yeah. This is from Stephen Fowler.
Okay.
Yes, Steve.
He says, hi, guys. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Not really. I just found out about you guys and got some time to start listening from episode 0. In 3 years, I bet you've done a Psionics episode, so could you tell me which one it is? If you haven't, or if it doesn't include a comparison between the Splat Book Psionics versus Skills and Powers Psionics versus D20 stuff, could you do an episode on those? What about the idea of transparency between the divine/elemental magics, arcane magics, and psionics? Thanks,
wow,
Steve.
He's not asking for much, but yeah.
No, not at all.
Let's see. When did we do psionics? I have to go back.
We did that outside of Dark Sun.
Yes,
I remember that much.
Yes, we did. I'm trying to find it as we're talking.
Was that the one I wasn't on?
No, you were on. You just you just didn't have much to
say. Yeah.
Yeah, because you aren't too keen on psionics. It's true.
Which is funny because all you gotta do, Glenn, go watch Brain Scanners.
Yep. Scanners.
And was the other one, the nightmare one? Dreamscape.
Dreamscape. Yes.
So watch Dreamscape. Watch Brain Scanners, and then you'll be cool with psionics.
Well, I was talking to Brian before the show about this, that Warriors of the Red Planet kind of crystallized it why I didn't like psionics, because I don't like subsystems of systems.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Full-On's heard this before out of me. I don't like subsystems of systems because then there's another little system I have to learn again.
Mm-hmm.
And things
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
In all seriousness?
Yeah.
Do you know the rule? You know the rules for D&D, right?
Yeah.
How about your pulp game? You know the rules for that?
Yeah.
How about all the other game systems that you're into? You know all the rules for that? It's just another subsystem.
He has a point.
He has a point.
You know 1,500 games that you play, and you know all the rules. Psionics is just a small set of rules in the D&D rules. You're not... I don't know.
I think it's not so much the system. I think it's just the idea of
inconsistency of them.
Well, I will agree. I'll agree 1,000% that the inconsistency in the psionics of this game is the biggest ball dropped to date for this role game.
And after second edition, it was 2 balls dropped. But,
that and grappling.
Yeah, that and grappling.
Grappling is when they went, hey, we're going to totally focus on this, and then they just kind of walked away from it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like secondary occupations in first edition. Yes.
Exactly.
But I will answer that in saying that, yeah, I know a lot of game systems, and I know a lot of systems, but they all work consistently. You don't see me playing GURPS.
This is true.
I kind of know GURPS, and there's so many subsystems in there, it's mind-boggling.
Yeah. Shadowrun for me. You want to talk about subsystems?
It's like Microsoft made it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it's Shadowrun, the subsystem of decking. Basically, it's basically the player and the GM while the other players sit around with their thumbs up their backside.
Just like
net
Cyberpunk.
running.
Yeah, just net running in Cyberpunk. Yeah,
yep,
same
thing. Same exact thing.
But as for your answer, Steve, I don't know what episode is. Brian's looking that up.
I'm looking up while we're talking.
We have not done a psionics,
it's
lab book psionics versus skills versus player psionics from skills and powers. We haven't done that, but it's possible. It is definitely something I like. I am a big psionicist. I want to get back into it, and I want to talk about it again. We haven't done it yet.
Yeah, no, we have. It was Splat Book 33.
But we haven't discussed about psionics versus skills and power psionics versus D20 stuff versus, have we?
Well, we did psionics and skills and powers, and we did the psionics handbook. We didn't go 3E because we're a 2E show, remember?
Got it. Okay.
But yeah, we covered that pretty well, actually.
And for me, transparency between divine elemental magics, arcane magics, and psionics. What do you mean transparency? I guess that's my question to your question.
He's talking about the premise in some systems that psionics are either 100% immune or 100% susceptible to magic or divine, depending on your approach to it. It's like, I just go with the all things being equal, they can interfere or succeed on each other equally, which is why all of them have the ability to do each of their abilities.
Right, yeah, some of it does overlap, it's true, and some can affect the other. Just not a lot. There's not a lot of crossover, but there is some. That's how I look at it, because there are certain spells that can completely block psionic power. There are certain clerical spells that that do the same thing, but there are also certain psionic abilities that can either imitate magic or in some cases provide resistances to certain types of magic. So
and with
there's some crossover.
And then with a couple well-placed psionic blasts and a couple other attack modes, you can make magicians a little sling blade.
With the French fried taters.
That's how we interrogate wizards in my capital city in my campaign world. We have psionics for that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have papers, then you will come into this room with us.
And you would look into his eyes.
Yeah, you don't need to. He's looking into your third eye.
We can play MIB. We can play Babylon 5.
Sure, why not? Walter Koenig. He actually made me hate him for a while in playing that role. He was such a dick. I mean, he was so bad, but he was so good at being bad. Who knew?
Are you saying he was the best?
Yeah, I guess I could say that. God bless you, Walter. You proved something to me with that role in Babylon 5.
But thanks for the email, Steve. Keep them coming.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you, Stephen. I appreciate it. And we're just about out of time, but I wanted to throw out there that you should send us your emails to thacoshammer@gmail.com.
Oh, we do have a phone number
somewhere.
405-806-0555.
I was waiting for you to give out your own phone number by mistake.
Time to call and change that number.
1-800-WET.
Oh, jeez. And on that note,
yes, let's close number 123.
Yes, please.
And next time we'll have a legit show. So, say goodbye, full on.
Goodbye, Gamer Nation. 1, 2, 3. That's the episode.
Right.
True. Say Brian, bye, Brian, bye.
Yeah. See you guys later. Hopefully I'll be sounding better the next time we get together.
And Corey?
See you guys. Hopefully next time I'll be sounding drunker when we get back together.
Well, it's kind of hard to go get booze when you're snowed in.
Exactly.
That's true. Shall we just pour it down the chimney for you, or what?
That'd be awesome.
I don't care about Santa Claus. And it's TM Glen. We'll see you next time when the hammer comes down on THACO's Hammer. Bye-bye. Oh, Boba Fett. Damn you.
I'll be interested in Rogue One. That'll be an interesting movie.
Anyway, we're out.
Yes, we are.
THACO's Hammer theme is provided by the Diablo Swing Orchestra. You'll find them on Jamendo.com. All other additional music for this episode was provided by Kevin MacLeod. You'll find more of his music on Incompetech.com. Be sure to visit our website at thacoshammer.info. If you have any questions or comments, email us at thacoshammer@gmail.com. Remember, that's an O, not a 0. You can also find us on the Second Edition forums at osrgaming.org and at purpleworm.org. Or give us a call and leave us a voicemail at 405-806-0555. See you next time when the hammer comes down on THACO's Hammer.